Anyway, it's time for my first guest. She sold over 50 million albums, won 9 Grammy Awards. The money. She's had hits with All I Want to Do, If It Makes You Happy, My Favorite Mistake, and now she has reinvented herself as the Queen of Nashville. You can hear my interview with Sheryl Crow right after her latest. And she joins me now. Hello, Sheryl Crow.
Hello, Graham.
We've been playing Easy so much on the show. I really, really, really like it.
Thank you.
And it sort of, in my head, it hadn't kind of registered that it's a Sheryl Crow song. We just play the song. Nice.
Oh, even better.
And then when you were on the TV show, I was like, oh, that's what this is.
That's her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
For those people who don't like me personally, if they don't know that that's me singing it, it's great for the song.
But yeah. we were talking about, so this is your first full country album.
It is, yeah.
But it's not as a big a shock to the system as you'd think it's going to be.
No, and it's weird. In America, we have all these things called formats, and the format of country has really changed. What I've been doing forever has been sort of the stepchild of country music already. We had our 2 biggest hits 20 years ago were All I Want to Do and Strong Enough to Be My Man, and they both had Pill Steel on them, which you would never hear at pop radio now. You'd only hear that at country. So it's been great. I mean, for me to be sort of absorbed in the country format, as it were, in the States has been a gift because I live in Nashville. I'm surrounded by country artists. I'm surrounded by great songwriters. I made this record in my backyard. It's been great to just be still and make records where I live.
And I suppose in America it's nice in a way, because if you think, oh, there's a genre of music I like, you can listen to a radio station, they play nothing else.
Yeah.
Whereas here we still, we'll play a pop record and then we'll play.
But I love that.
I prefer. I must say I prefer
the music. I know. I love that. That's one of the reasons it's so cool to me that the song is doing well and it's being received over here as just a song. People just like the song and they don't. I mean, it's called country and it's on a so-called country record, but you don't have that here. And I love that.
So in the States now, are you only played on country radio?
Well, this record has been only serviced, as they say in the business, to country radio. And it'll get picked up by other, like we have a lot of digital radio. It'll get picked up by other formats at digital radio. And then ultimately, I mean, we've all seen what's happened with Taylor Swift and people like that. Hopefully it will get picked up at other formats.
And now you say you live in Nashville. Do you live in are you a
I live
farm
in a
girl?
giant mansion. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, she does. If you're not living in a giant mansion, something's gone horribly wrong.
I walked in here and I'm covered in mud because I just took the kids to is it the Princess Diana Park?
Oh yeah, we don't call it that, but yeah.
What is it with the little boat and everything? Anyway, we were over in
Hyde Park. Kensington Gardens.
Kensington Gardens,
where they built that attractive ditch.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I'm covered in mud, but yeah, I live on a farm and. This is how I dress all the time. You can't see me out there, but I'm in muddy jeans and muddy boots, and we have horses. And up until recently, we've had chickens. We're getting ready to get chickens again. And we've got a couple of cows, and so. But we live right square in the middle of Nashville. If that tells you anything about the town, it's crazy.
I read this, and it made no sense to me because I've been to Nashville. I mean, it has paved roads. I mean, it's a proper place.
It's like a big sprawling town. It's not a city, and it's so cool now. In the last 5 or 10 years. It's become kind of a hip place to live. Don't tell anybody so they don't move there. And actually a lot of people are moving there. But we have everything from big country artists to actors to Kings of Leon and Black Keys and Mumford & Sons. And it's really a hip place. But I moved there 8 years ago after I had breast cancer and put my roots down. And it's weird. You can look over and there's a house there, and then right next to it is another house with 50 acres, and then there's another house. It's just an odd place. It's very sprawling.
And presumably your life has changed now because before you could be a bit of a nomad and sort of, you just put your guitar on, you could go wherever you are.
Yeah.
But now, mom of 2, and presumably schools are involved now.
Yeah, it's very calculated. It's not like I can wake up in the morning and pour a cup of coffee, read the New York Times, sit down and write a song. Now everything is totally scheduled. Like if I'm going to be inspired, I got to be inspired between, noon and 4. So it's different, but it's great. I mean, I love it. And
in terms of writing now, because it is this odd thing where you're still writing songs. Mm-hmm. So how do you approach the writing a song differently now?
Well, I've always written narratively. I wrote with several Nashville songwriters on this record because I wanted to learn that thing they do at country where they make the story so succinct They get in, they get out, they get to the point. There's no nebulous imagery driven lyric that means something to me, but that other people will just go, what does she mean by that? It sounds really cool, but you can get away with murder at pop radio, but not at country radio. And I learned a lot. It was great. I mean, after 20 years of writing, 25 years of writing, I feel more energized by what I'm doing now than I have in years.
Well, that's exciting.
I know, it's awesome, right?
But also, isn't that weird thing? Because when you say that, 25 years,
I know.
Like, it must sound wrong in your head.
I was 10 when I got started.
Yeah. But it's extraordinary how that happens.
I know, it's weird. I mean, I'm looking at my 6-year-old who has like long, hairy legs now, and just like yesterday, he was a baby. It's weird how time is going so fast.
Well, and
I mean, the first time I was on your show was like 12 years ago. I think it was.
Oh, shut up!
I know. We look exactly the same though. We have not changed a bit.
No, annoyingly, you do.
Oh, that's crazy. No.
And now the other thing, reading about kind of your background, is you are one of those women, one of those performers.
Careful.
Who could have so easily slipped through the net. Because you were working as a backing singer and doing all those things, and people don't encourage those people. Like, because
funny.
you're kind of like, you want someone to be good at that, so like keep doing that.
Well, it's funny. I watched 20 Feet from Stardom. Have you seen that documentary?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great about Darlene Love, and I watched it on the airplane on the way over here. I hadn't seen it, and they had interviewed me for it, and they didn't actually wind up using any of the footage where I talked about going from being a backup singer to a front singer. It doesn't happen very often because I think you have to really feel dissatisfied singing in a group to catapult yourself out to the front. And it is intimidating. It's really hard work, and there's a lot of no. Like, you hear no all the time, and you have to suffer, really harsh criticism, and you have to be very thick-skinned. And, that's the only thing that I could say that has delineated me from some of the most amazing singers who are in the background, who just haven't stepped out.
Well, also, it's about you get penalised for being excellent, because it's in no one's interest to promote you, because how great that we've got this fabulous woman.
Yeah.
We can we can trust her harmonies all the time. She's great.
I think the best singers are the background singers. I think the people that wind up out front are not necessarily the best singers. I mean, I'm certainly not the best singer in the world, but I love all of what goes along with being the leader of the band. And but it is interesting because now all these TV shows that, like the American Idol and all that stuff that kind of was born here, gosh, kids are groomed from early age to be famous and to be great singers and to be out front. So I don't know if the art form of being a background singer is going to slowly kind of die, or
I'm afraid tragically it's not going to die, because what happens to those people
is they become backup singers.
They become backup. I've recognized some of the backing singers
you do?
Yeah, on the show. I'm kind of like, isn't she the girl who was in like week 3 of that?
Wow, well, that's good. I mean, that's hopeful, because a lot of front guys can't sing. Can't sing. I mean, can't sing in the background.
Listen, Feels Like Home, out now on Warner Nashville. We'll have like, listeners' questions and things, but this is a song from the album Nobody's Business. What should we know about this song before we hear it?
This song, I wanted to write a song that had the feel of Can't Get Enough of Your Love. So that was the inspiration for the feel of the track. And I wanted to write a song about people being in your business when you're in a relationship. I mean, they always want to know who you're in a relationship with, not just me, but it's just, we're such a gossip-driven society. So that's what the song is, in a nutshell.
Tonight, and maybe you should just spend the night. Well, it ain't wrong as long as we think it's alright. But you don't have to park a block away or sneak out before the break of day. But if the neighbors see you, who cares anyway? Oh, makes the world go round, especially in this stupid town. Somebody's probably driving by talking trash right now. It's nobody's business what we do. Let 'em all talk if they want to. It's nobody's business if I love you. Yeah, I'm gonna love you like nobody's business. It's nobody's business what we do. Let 'em all talk if they want to. It's nobody's business if I love you. Oh, and baby, I do. And I'm gonna love you, baby, like nobody's business. Yeah. Let 'em talk, let 'em talk. Oh,
That's Nobody's Business, and it's from her new album, Feels Like Her. It's her. Who's she? Who's she? The cat's mother. Sheryl Crow. It's from her new album, Feels Like Home, recorded in Nashville. Now, people have sent in questions.
Yeah. Oh, please. Let's hear them.
I'll
G-rated, I hope.
I'll speed read them before I actually read them out loud. Often it's just things like, where were you in that shop once?
Yes. What size shoe do you wear?
Why does it matter where you record an album? Does the city truly make a difference? Joanna in Settle in Yorkshire. Oh, poor
Joanna, that is a very good question. It probably doesn't, but I would say that country music is typically known for coming out of Nashville. There is a huge tradition of great country players there. Actually, there's an amazing tradition of just great musicianship there. There is a legacy that exists there. I definitely felt it when I walked into Blackbird Studios, which I recorded at for about 3 or 4 days. But I recorded there, to be honest, because I live there and I've got kids now, and I recorded in my barn above 10 stinky horses. And it was great to walk down the driveway and record in my backyard.
But it's funny though, because I have interviewed so many people who have recorded albums in Nashville. It just seems it's not just country. It's just everybody.
People really gravitate to Nashville to record. It's an easy place to record. It's easy to get around. The studios are wonderful. It's one of the last meccas for recording studios. Somebody just told me that Olympic Studios here closed, and it's hard to keep a commercial studio up and running when everyone has studios in their barns, their backyards.
Yeah, you're killing it. You're killing it, Sheryl.
I'm killing yes, I am. That is right. Yeah.
This is Anne in Basingstoke wants to know, how did the Bond song come about, and how hard was it to achieve the Bond sound?
I loved doing that so much. I'd love to do another one, but I think traditionally you only get one. Barbara Broccoli called me. She called my manager, and she's of the famous Cubby Broccoli, the family who, I believe, I don't know if they own the franchise, but they certainly have been involved in all the movies, and asked me to write the theme for Tomorrow Never Dies. I was thrilled. I just put out my first record, and it was doing well, and the opportunity to do that is so historical, and there's such a legacy there, and just the challenge of writing something that is, I think, kind of inspired by 60s kind of spy. It's the James Bond theme. It gives you carte blanche to step out of what you are kind of predictably known for.
Gwen in Jersey has a question, which I think is a really
In
useful
Jersey.
thing.
Wow.
Jersey, I know.
Okay.
Tax dodger. And so, I'm joking, of course. Gwen pays all her tax. She does, just at a lower rate. But but no, it's a good question. Gwen asks a good question, which people need to hear the answer to.
Please, fire away.
So, your first album,
Yes.
rejected by the record company.
Yes, Gwen.
How did that feel, and how did you take something good from that?
Well, actually, Gwen, and thanks for asking, Gwen from Jersey. That record wasn't actually turned down by the record label. I actually went in with the record in hand and said, "Please, give me the opportunity to make another record," because I felt like the record was so beautiful and so slick that I would never be heard from again. It just did not feel like me. It didn't feel like the bratty person that I was, the kind of rough around the edges person. And I got signed by an unbelievable producer. He took me in, took my my cassette in, because that's what they were at the time, and got me a record deal. But then when we started making the record, I realized that our marriage artistically probably wasn't the best thing. So I went in and I asked to please don't put this record out. It'll be lost in the bins. It sounds like a commercial, a jingle.
Yeah.
And I kicked around for quite a long time. I finally started making my second record when I heard they were going to drop me. And I walked in with 4 new songs and said, "How about this?" And they let me finish the record.
Like, what's coming across is, like, you had to be incredibly, like...
Brazen?
Well,
pig-headed?
Well, yes.
Say it, Graham.
Well, you know, you stood your ground.
I
Stood your
did.
ground. And that takes a
did.
lot of confidence.
Well, I'll tell you, I've done everything wrong once before I realized what it is that I need to do. That's just the way I learn. And in my first video for All I Want to Do, we made a video for that, and then we scrapped it. You know, it's an expensive way to learn lessons, but, you know, sometimes you just have to feel your way through it. And you can also be very persuaded by people to do things that aren't right for you.
Are you the same with everything? Like, when you're renovating a house, do you put in a bathroom and then rip it out and put in another one?
I like to marry one guy before I actually settle down and really marry the second guy. No, that's not true. I haven't gotten married. I've actually been engaged 3 times, so that does give you a clear indication of what my pattern is.
That's a bathroom renovation right there. Yeah.
I like to test drive a lot of different men.
That's not a law.
No.
3. Terry Adams in Stoke wants to know, do you watch the TV series? This is so random. Do you watch the TV series Nashville? And if so, is it realistic?
I have watched it. Actually, Connie Britton, who is the star of it, is a really good friend of mine. She and I both have boys around the same age, and we play together, and Nashville is a small town. So I have seen it on a couple of occasions. I don't get to see TV unless I DVR it, which is where you record it. There are some things about it that are very, very true. And then, of course, the storyline, the backbiting and stuff, I don't experience that. And I'm sure it exists. But, you know, you have to sort of make a show spicy. So it's probably a little more dramatic than what life really is like.
Final question. Harry Young from Chester. I know you have your own band.
Yes.
Was that your own band on the TV show? It seemed like they were.
2 of them were, and 2 of them were members of my old band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, because you seemed like you all really knew each other really well.
I know all of those guys super well.
Harry Young obviously wants to be in your band because he goes, "What do you look for in a member?"
Oh, wow. Shall I be honest or shall I be clean?
Scruffy hair, I would say.
A big chest. No, I'm kidding. Somebody who can play well and... you know, at this point in my life, I spend so much time with my band. It's important to like each other, you know? So I've gotten really lucky where most of the people that have played with me have not felt like it was just a job. They've enjoyed it. They've liked the music. That always helps.
And does the band come to the barn?
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Do you get caterers in? I'm worried about their, you know, because that's
their
a lot.
Sustenance.
Well, no, I'm just
their
worried
well-being.
about, like, suddenly it's your house.
I don't
feed
feed
them.
my bands.
Do they bring packed lunches?
They bring a sack lunch. Actually, the barn is, it's a big barn that has horses in it. And the front of it is an actual saloon, like a bar. Oh, yes. I'm so
loving the sound of your house.
Yeah. And then above the stalls is the studio. So it's like an attic studio, and we always have food brought in. We're big foodies, so
good. I was worried about them.
Yeah. No, nobody's
fine.
losing any weight on my sessions.
They didn't look hungry, but they're fine. Listen, you can hear them on the new album Feels Like Home. It's out now on Warner Nashville. Listen, thank you so much. It's been lovely to spend time with you.
Thank you,
and we'll see you again.
Okay.